Hi guys, welcome to the Nevermind podcast. My name is Matt, I'm your host, and we chat to rock and metal bands from around the world. This is episode 141. Hello, how are we all doing? I hope everyone's okay. Obviously, I know that's a rhetorical question because you can't answer me because this is an audio and visual based platform. But what I will say is a massive thank you to everyone who has checked out the last few episodes. So the Ocean's 8 Alaska episode's gone down amazingly. The Revocation one's gone down amazingly. Bloodbath's gone down amazingly. Eat Your Heart Out has gone down really well as well. So thank you guys for so much love and support. And obviously the previous podcasts we've had, all 141 episodes, are still continuously getting downloaded, continuously getting the love, which is super fucking awesome. But this week we are chatting to Until I Wake, who are a New York-based metalcore band. That I say metalcore. Metalcore feels like a kind of an undersell for this band. They incorporate metalcore first and foremost, absolutely, but there is lots of different things, lots of different strings to their bow. And their new record, Inside My Head, which is their debut record as well, is out now everywhere. Go and listen to it, go and stream it. It's fucking great. I want to do a massive thank you to the band for coming on and having a chat with me. I'd like to do a thank you to their PR team for sending this over as well and organising this chat. And we had a lot of fun on this chat. It was a good little podcast. I really enjoyed myself, and I feel like they enjoyed it too. We chatted about their dream festival lineup that they'd have on a dream bill that they were on. We spoke about growing up in New York. We spoke about their sort of interests in music, and among other things. It was a good podcast. I highly recommend that you listen to it. But obviously you are listening to it, you are watching this video, so I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to drink this Coca-Cola and let you listen to this chat with Until I Wake, which is Cody, August, and Ryan. Enjoy. Thank you. And by the way, next week, the next podcast, 142, is going to be a really, really important guest. So stick around. I might tell you at the end. See you soon. Bye. Guys, welcome back to the Nevermind podcast. My name is Matt. We chat to rock and metal bands from around the world. This is episode 141, if I remember rightly, and we are chatting to the band Until I Wake. We have got Cody, Ryan, and August. How are we doing, gents? Are everyone all right?
What's up? Hello.
Great. How are you?
I'm good. My evening is just beginning. If I've got my time zones correctly, your guys, it's around lunchtime for you guys. How is your afternoon/morning gone? Been okay?
I think it just started for all of us. Yeah, we're late risers. Yeah. We're lazy. Nice. We just got up.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. We all have a lion. So I want to do a quick thank you for coming on the show. Because as I say, I got sent the record a little bit before its general release, which was about a week ago, 9th of September. Time gets away from you in podcast land. But I want to start out with congratulations on the debut record. It went wonderful. How has the reception been for you guys since its release?
It's been awesome, man. Mostly positive comments. All the fans dig it. A couple people don't get it. Why we did everything so differently, but for the most part, it's awesome. It's great.
Awesome stuff. So I'd love to know, because you guys, please do correct me if I've got any of my notes wrong or anything like that, but you guys are a relatively newer band, starting out in 2020 or thereabouts. How did you guys all meet? How did you form? Give us a little bit of a backstory about the band if you can.
So I guess we all met in the local scene in Buffalo, where we're from, through like other various projects and stuff. And at some point or another, we had all worked together, in projects. But Until I Wake was the first time that this group of 4 individuals worked together. And since we kind of pulled, our favorite musicians from Buffalo all together for one project, we're like, all right, now it's go time. Like, this has got to count. And then we went behind the scenes for for 2 years just working on the music. 2018 was like writing and all that stuff. Then 2019 was writing more music and filming music videos. Then January 25th of 2020 is when we debuted.
Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. I was going to say, New York has created some fantastic bands in its past. Everyone from Anthrax to Ramones. So Until I Wake is a lovely little addition to that scene. Is it quite a good scene over in Buffalo and things, and New York in general?
Yeah, I'd say Buffalo's always been kind of a hub for this type of music. Yeah, there's always been like a pretty decent metal, rock, heavy music type scene.
Yeah, I think within like the past few years too, it's gone more towards like hardcore music specifically, you know, out of all like the subgenres of like metal and all that. It's gone more towards hardcore.
I love that. And obviously you guys are signed to Fearless Records, which when I heard the album, it was kind of like, okay, that makes perfect sense with the bands that are on that roster and been through Fearless Records in the past. You guys seem like a perfect fit for that, because Fearless Records as a record label is kind of one of those things where like there's an obvious metalness to. There's obviously the metalcore thing with it, but also you can't just be typecast to that one box because there's lots of different things that you do within your sound. So how is it working with those guys, and how did that come to be?
Those guys are awesome. Yeah, no, they're we've had nothing but positive, you know, everything's been positive. We haven't run into any roadblocks with them. They give us complete creative reign and freedom to pretty much do what we want to do. Every time we present them with what we're doing, they're like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Love that.
And then how it began, I'm pretty sure we were shopping around for a couple different labels. I don't think we'd gotten around to shopping to Fearless yet, but luckily for us, they had actually sent us an email showing interest, so it went from there. So, and then I think, yeah, just one of their scouts or A&R people or something heard of us and pitched us, and so we got pretty lucky with that.
Nice.
Yeah, they were. Fearless was always in one of our top 3 though. Like we're always like, if this label hits us up, like we got to go with it, got to do it. Absolutely. And they were one of our top 3, so it was pretty sweet.
Amazing stuff. And that's something as well. Like, you know, I'm not going to be as rude to ask how old you guys are, but you're a very young band in terms of, you know, physically being a young band, but also a young band as well. So I guess getting on tour and stuff is probably where you have the most amount of fun, I think, probably the word, because obviously being in the studio writing it is one thing, but being in front of your fans is a completely different thing. And obviously I've been doing my research and things. You guys have recently just been on tour with Crown the Empire, who I'm a big fan of and have been for many years. That must have been really fun. Because again, they seem like the nicest bunch of dudes.
Oh yeah, those dudes are awesome. Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, I think going on to that tour, it's like you think about like how people are going to react, because we're the new band, you know, and these other bands been around for like 10 plus years. And I think that it went in the best way, probably way different than we had thought that it was going to go, as far as being like welcomed onto the tour and hanging out and all that stuff and getting along really well. You know, there's a lot of nights where Crown like put us up in hotels and stuff, and like we would end the day like hanging out with Crown, you know, like drinking beers, playing beer pong, things like that. And that was pretty cool.
Nice. Do you guys have any kind of pre-stage like rituals or anything like that you go before you hit the stage? Again, I'm hoping one day that I'm going to get a band that are like, yeah, we'd sacrifice like a goat or something before stage. Are you the guys to do it? Like, I don't think you are, but
I think
nothing like that.
We sacrifice a beer.
Yeah,
there we go. I love
that's
that.
what we do. We sacrifice a beer and maybe do some jumping jacks and some vocal warm-ups for me, and we're ready to go.
Nice.
I sacrificed a shot of whiskey.
my dude. That's
the pre-show ritual.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm drinking just normal Coke, so I wish I could have something in it, but technically this is work. So
We won't
But,
tell anyone. Don't
yeah,
worry.
oh,
won't
there we
tell.
go. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. So I'd like to know, how did you guys get into music generally? Was it a case of your parents were kind of into music, or did you find your own path? And again, what made you pick up the instruments that you play? And obviously, Cody, what made you sort of want to become a vocalist? If you could kind of go into that a little bit.
What made me get into this music was that I think I was just an emo kid in high school and stuff, and so I just
Yeah.
connected with this type of music. And then as far as wanting to be a vocalist, I've always just and going back to what you're saying, if like your parents got you into it, my parents didn't like get me into this type of music, but my mom does sing, and so I kind of have always been around that, and maybe got blessed with some genetics that allow me to naturally build. I picked it up pretty naturally. I've never had like actual professional training or anything like that. So yeah, just trying it out as a kid. I just fell in love with it. Just liked it. Just screaming in my car and singing in my car, and then buddies' houses, and just jamming to music, and just started. Yeah.
I think I was gonna say, so I play drums mediocrely well. I play guitar worse, and it's one of those things. I don't have a natural ability. So like when it comes to drums, it's kind of like I don't have the natural 4/4 rhythm that some people might have. So I find it really difficult. So obviously some people are just naturally got that kind of that little bit of spark that helps you along the way. So that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
How about
Well, I feel you
you
on the
guys?
drums, because I don't have any. I can't get that coordination down.
No, it's a terrible
Since
thing.
you're
So,
on the topic of drums, I
yeah.
guess now that I'm really thinking about it, my first experience playing music was messing around on my dad's drum kit when I was younger. And I didn't
Okay.
really ever think about this when people asked before, like how you got into music, whatever. But I remember messing around on his drum kit, and I'm like, well, I like hitting stuff, but I suck at this. So I was like, maybe I'll try guitar. So then I got like a really cheap starter guitar, and I was playing like pop punk music. It started with like Blink 182 and Sum 41 and Good Charlotte and all that stuff. And then gradually got more and more metal as things went. And then I got more and more metal guitars. And then that's where we are now. Well, a little bit before where we are now, but in metal as far as that goes.
For sure. How about you, Ryan? It is Ryan, isn't it? Sorry, I've got the names the right way around on Zoom.
No, you're good. Well, I grew up around a lot of different kind of music. My grandmother always was like playing, classic rock and stuff like that. And my parents were playing like hip hop, but my dad actually had an acoustic guitar, and I kind of like expressed interest in it. And I picked it up and then just kind of went from there. And then as far as like, I grew up out in the country, whereas these guys grew up like more in the suburbs. But I grew up like way far out, and it seemed almost impossible to break into the music scene because like I didn't drive or anything, and my parents weren't really trying to drive me so far out.
Yeah.
But I met this guy, and kind of just went from there. And he was nice enough to come grab me, and I would always find my way out into the scene. But yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. And obviously, speaking about previously going on tour and things like that. Obviously, it sounds like a bit of a redundant question previous to what we've just spoken about. But do you guys kind of miss family and friends when you are on tour, or is it just a case of bye mum, bye dad, I'm off. This is like I'm going on tour now, like. Or do you get a kind of sense of
I don't miss
home's okay?
anyone. I'm like, sayonara. I'm out of here.
I definitely miss friends and family, but I feel like our family and friends are so supportive of us and like excited for us all the time to do that we're doing what we're doing. So when we do go, it's very easy for us to just embrace the excitement and just like do the thing.
We're having too much fun to even realize most of the time. There's always nights where you miss someone, but we're having a blast out there, man. And then most of the time we have friends and family members come out to one of the shows, so we get to see them at least once or twice when we're on the road.
That's the best thing. That's the best thing for sure. I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
the days gotta go by.
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I just was saying the days go by so quick that you don't even like. It's so busy you don't realize. But
For sure. I was having a look again, doing the research and things like that, and I saw that you guys are playing Louder Than Life 22, Louder Than Life Festival in literally a few days. And America is such a vast place. It's kind of, being from the UK, it's kind of, I've never been to America, so like when there's all these different festivals, it's so hard to keep up. But I looked at the lineup, and that lineup is ridiculous. As someone who has like two major festivals that roll around the UK, which, don't get me wrong, they're fantastic, but they're only, we're a small island. You guys are playing on the Friday alongside Shinedown, Slipknot, Lamb of God, also on that lineup, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Nine Inch Nails, like ridiculous. It must be super exciting to play such a huge, big festival. Do you guys plan on sort of hanging out with catching any bands, or is it a case of you're in and then you're back out again, or do you get to hang out and stuff?
So I know for most of us, I know Crown's playing that show too that same day. So we're definitely going to catch Crown. Being that we're invited through DWP, like directly on their like Twitch stream, like during an interview, we're only, I don't know if this is like for all the bands or just for like the bands that are not the headliners or what, but I know we're only going to be there for that one day. So we're going to end up catching, like, I'm sure Slipknot, probably like the rest of the headliners. I know Crown for sure we're going to catch. And then the rest of the day is going to be like probably a bunch of like on-site interviews. I know we're going to be having a signing at one of the tents. It's not announced yet, but it's actually this brand's tent we're going to be doing a signing at. It's called Mortis Viventi. And I think that's like 2 hours or so, maybe 2 hours after our set. I don't know. Either way, the day is going to be so packed. So hopefully we do get to check out a lot of those bands. But I know that first and foremost, we're definitely going to check out the dudes in Crown and definitely Slipknot.
For sure. I love that. I have to ask as well. So it's something I ask every band that I chat to is, if you could pick, and because there's three of you, it works quite well. If you could pick your dream lineup that you guys are a part of. So I'd like a headliner, can be yourselves. You can put yourself as headliner. Why not? And three other bands. So it's a 4-band bill. You get a band each. Who's your dream tour between the three of you?
Bring Me the Horizon as the headline.
Fair enough. Yeah, amazing.
Then I would say, then I Prevail. This is tough with only three other bands and then us. And then Bad Omens. So Bring Me the Horizon, I Prevail, Bad Omens, Until I Wake.
I mean, I know that Ollie Sakes is an avid listener of this podcast, so I'm sure he... No, but that's awesome, man. I was going to say, in terms of those you've been the bands that you picked, there's quite a lot of influences I can see directly, like in terms of what you guys play as well, but also being in your own style, if that makes sense. And Bring Me are killing it at the minute. Like it's one of the British hometown pride that we got them as our own. So.
If there was a fourth band, it would have been Motionless in White. I guess they could interchange with I Prevail or Bad Omens at this point. Amazing. Love all those bands.
For sure.
I think for me, it would definitely have to be Motionless in White, Bad Omens, and oh God.
You have to say Bring Me.
I mean,
I
don't want to say all the same bands as you, because like, I don't know. There's so many out there. Of course, Bring Me. That would be so sick. But I've been jamming a lot of no, you know what? I gotta go with Sleeping with Sirens. Definitely Sleeping with Sirens. Yeah. So
great band. How about you, Cody?
I think I really want to tour with Pierce the Veil. They're back and they're getting back out there. They're one of my favorites, so definitely gonna have to go with them. I think Dayseeker's killing it right now. I'd probably want to go out with Dayseeker, and then man, for my third one, I'd probably have to do we're just gonna slap Justin Bieber or Posty on there, and that's gonna be huge.
Just get Posty opening. But to be fair, he's into his rock and metal, so that would be cool for sure. That would be cool. I love that. So Guys, I don't want to take too much of your time, and you've been very gracious with your time today. So I'm just going to cast you a couple more questions. And the first of which is what is coming. And I know that's such a double-edged sword when it comes to bands, because you have so much that you can't say until you can say, but things that you can talk about, what's coming. Obviously, just touring, I guess, massively, and all the rest of it. So talk us through what you can talk about at least.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm like, we're trying to get in the studio soon, which we will be. We'll definitely be back in the studio before the end of the year working on the next album.
Mhm.
And I was like, how do we make, this one like different and fresh and all that stuff? And I was thinking like, we'll probably end up keeping like the same sort of diversity on the album, but making it bigger, probably throwing in like new elements and stuff like that, experimenting even more, than we already did on this prior one. And we know that we want to keep that around. Like a lot of people are like, oh, it's weird that you could do that or that you did do that or whatever, because they expect just song 1 to song 13, just metalcore music. But we've never been, about just doing the same song 13 times. So, we want to keep that diversity.
Yeah, I was just going to say, one thing I was going to say, obviously on a debut, it's kind of like, from a listener's perspective and the way that I look at it, it's kind of like an explosion of everything that you guys are. And then the second one, or the follow-up release, is kind of like exploring the corners and finding where, like, oh, that's a direction we want to go in, we'll go there. And then the third one will go there. And it's kind of like, so it's just like, bang, this is everything that we're influenced by, this is everything we want to do. And it is kind of just a bit of a, I like the word smorgasbord. That's a good word. It's what kind of reminds me of. Like, it's just a bit of a feast of everything that you guys are. So, but yeah, sorry, carry on. Just want to throw that in.
Yeah, the first one is probably like experimenting with it and crushing it. And then literally the second album, to me, like I want to do that and master it by the second album. Like just put out like 13 hits that have like different elements to them.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, amazing stuff. I'd like to finish on a question. And again, you can take this as deeply and as personally and whatever is like, or you can be a more jovial answer. It depends how you look at it. But I would like to know from each of you, what is the best thing about being in a band?
Oh man. Honestly, I think it's the man, that's so hard, but I think it's just like having that common ground of like this passion, like just playing music and like going out touring and playing shows in front of people together, like as 4 guys and everything, and sharing that experience and like experiencing like, seeing different parts of like the country and, for the first time together and everything. It's just a really cool experience. So
yeah, the
sure.
traveling's definitely probably the coolest part, I would say, is getting out there and seeing places we've never been. But I'd say the most rewarding thing about being in a band is when, you just have fans come up to you and tell you like how much a song means to them or how it helped them get through something. And that's just crazy to think like some stranger that you've never met could be like affected by something that you created. So that's like definitely the most rewarding thing for me. And then the most fun thing is the traveling and seeing all these cool places and shit.
I love that. That's really cool, man. That's really cool. How about you, August? What do you think, if you've got an answer?
Ryan.
Right, sorry, Ryan, wrong way around. Sorry. On Zoom, it's the other way around. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. I'd say I agree with both of them. I think meeting new people, performing for new people and all that stuff. I mean, new or old fans, whatever. People coming to the shows and being like, I came out for you guys, or I traveled 6 hours to see you guys. I'm like, why? 6 hours is crazy, dude. Yeah. I'm like, that's sick. And like, it's awesome. It's a great feeling.
It's so cool.
For sure. And that's going back to what I said briefly about America being so large that it's incomprehensible. Like for me, 6 hours, I could get to Scotland, which is about 400 miles, where you're like, we're not even out of like New York yet. What the hell?
Yeah, it took us 2 days to get to our first spot for the last tour. The first show, it was 2 days away, a 2-day drive just to get to start.
Yeah, it's true though too. Like when we go to like film music videos or whatever, we'll be driving like 6 to 8 hours because we're in Buffalo and then we'll film in like New Jersey and New York City, and that alone is like 6 to 8 hours to get to that. So yeah, we could basically drive 8 hours in New York and still be in New York.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Everyone go and check out the brand new record from Until I Wake, which is called Inside My Head, out now on Fearless Records and, all streaming services and that. I'm assuming you guys still do the CD vinyl thing because that seems like such a redundant thing, but there we have it. The CD and the artwork is wicked as well. Like the artwork is absolutely wicked, just throwing it out there. But
Thank you.
yeah, and they're going to be on tour soon. We don't know when. Dates are in the works, I'm assuming. But yeah, thank you guys.
We got our feelers out there. We're looking.
Yeah,
We're looking for the right opportunity.
For sure. But if you're in the States and you are going to forgot what the festival's called now, Louder Than Life, go and catch them, go and catch Crown the Empire, go and see all these amazing bands because it's a fucking great little festival. Look at it. Awesome. We will catch up with you guys soon. And as a personal thank you, if you ever make it to the UK or I make it to you guys, I'll buy you a drink of choice as a thank you. I say it to every band. And luckily, it's not bit me on the ass too much yet. I went to a couple of festivals and saw some friends like, you owe me a beer. And I'm like, I do. I did say that. So it's not
We'll hold you to it.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Cheers, guys. It's been a blast. Catch up with you soon.
Thanks, man.
See ya. Thanks.
Yes, there we have it. We have had it. That was my conversation with Until I Wake. And as promised, at the very end of this podcast, I would be revealing who episode 142 is with, because I've recorded this backwards this time around, and I'm actually recorded this podcast before the one that you've just listened to. I sat down with the one and only Mr. Rob Kellis of TPD TV, and it was fucking great. It was fucking great. For those of you who have been living under a rock for the last 7-8 years, TPD TV are the premiere of YouTube content when it comes to festivals, but so much more than that. They are the fucking brilliant TPD TV who do amazing podcasts. They do videos on them going to LA, camper videos. There's so much good stuff. We chatted for over an hour on this podcast and we deep dived into everything TPD. And I feel like it's probably the most strongest podcast to date. And I just want to thank Rob for everything that he has done for my career in terms of a podcast, a YouTube, all of that stuff, because without him, this wouldn't have been where we are today. But that being said, he already knows that. We've already talked about this on the podcast, so I'm not going to go over it too much. But that will be coming very soon, and that will be the next podcast you hear is going to be with Rob Kellis of TPD TV. Anyway, I've rambled way too much. Peace.